Now, this is a story that requires you have a beverage and a snack. This is a good one. This is the story of Matthew and Steph as told through Reddit. Now, his post was pulled or he deleted it, but it was titled, I cheated on my wife while she was pregnant and she won't take me back. Shocked face. But thankfully, people save stories in other subreddits, so we have the story. So this is what he says. I want to start off by saying that I found out that my wife posted to this sub and she will no longer speak to me, so I am here to try and get her to talk to me. I cheated on my wife when she was pregnant twice, and then I did it again stupidly after she gave birth to our son. I was stressed, and the coworker was there. We got to talking about life and how hard her divorce was, and she's been lonely. I was feeling lonely with my I was feeling lonely. My wife was bedridden, and I needed someone to talk to because my wife was always asleep. She just wasn't feeling well enough to act like a wife. Y'all. Okay, he says, my wife won't speak to me or text me whenever I try to talk about us. She just completely ignores me unless I talk about our son, and all the time she won't even text me. She communicates with me through her mother. Her mother threatened to call the police. I came by anymore, so I have no way to reach her except through phone or me making my case here, and pleaded with her to just talk to me. Has anyone been in the situation before, and what can I do to make her forgive me? She told me that she doesn't tolerate cheaters, and I had a lapse of judgment and I made a mistake. I want to fix it and work on it. Steph, if you're reading this, I am so sorry and will do whatever to get you back. I love you. I'll buy you whatever. I'll never leave the house again. Just come back home and stop the divorce. I won't sign the papers. There is a lot of mess in this from Matthew. And yes, I know that this is from Matthew because Steph jumps into the comment section and calls him Matthew. But the fact that this woman had a red line, she told him his red line was cheating, and he still crossed the line. Cheating is not a mistake. Cheating requires planning. You have got to plan. You got to know who you're going to cheat with, where you're going to cheat. It takes a series of decisions to cheat, and it takes extra series of other decisions to cheat multiple times. And I highly doubt that he just cheated these 3 times. These are the 3 times that he admitted to. Anyways, let's get into some of the comments. This person says, she just wasn't feeling well enough to act like a wife. The most sentence of all time, wow. Yes, just wow. He said she wasn't feeling well enough to be a wife, to act like a wife. This person says, yep, no concern for why she was bedbound, just that his peen was dry. And then this person says, see, that's what I thought he meant by that. But then I read the wife's post where she talks about how he was getting nookie with her right after he had nookie with his coworker. So actually, I think he's just complaining that she was sick and wasn't doing as much domestic labor as usual. And that's his justification for why he cheated. The fact that it happened when the baby was just 3 weeks old seals it. If he was actually doing everything he was supposed to be, as in handling all the cooking and cleaning and otherwise helping support his wife and take care of his son, he simply wouldn't have had the time or energy to be getting nookie from anyone else, let alone someone he had to go out of his way to spend time with. So this is where I saw that she was like in the comments, or she had a whole nother post. And someone did us a solid and just left the whole post in the comment section. So now here we have, this is Steph. She says, I'm leaving my husband for cheating while I was pregnant. She says, I, 26-year-old woman, and my husband, 28-year-old man, have been married for 3 years. We have a 6-month. About a month ago, I found out he cheated on me while I was 3 months pregnant with a woman from work, and then again with the same woman when I was 8 months pregnant, and then he cheated on me 3 weeks after I gave birth. I got a message on Instagram from her, and she spilled everything. She had screenshots and voice recordings from him, but I didn't only take her word for it, I also went to my husband and sat down with him, and he admitted to the whole thing. When we first started dating, I told him that cheating was an ultimate deal breaker, and I would leave him as soon as I found out someone cheated on me. So that's what I did. I packed a bag and I went to go stay with my parents. He and his mom have been calling me and saying that he wants to talk and work on things and don't throw away 3 years over a mistake. I told both of them that this was not a mistake. It was a choice that he made 3 times. And those are the 3 times that I know about. He cheated on me when I was carrying his child and then would come home and kiss me. And we would also be intimate. I told them to leave me alone and that we would only be speaking through a lawyer to get this divorce over with. They keep telling me to try therapy and that this is just a hurdle that most couples go over. Been coming to my parents' house to trying to talk to me. My mom finally told them to stop calling me or she will call the police for harassment. I know a lot of people work marriages after they find out after they cheated, but I know that I personally would never get over this. It would always be in the back of my head that not only did he cheat on me, but he did it while I was in a very vulnerable state, and one of those times a month before I gave birth to his son. I would feel nothing but insecure being with him. Therapy would not work to fix us, but I am getting therapy for myself so I can work through this. I just don't think it would be fair to myself or fair to our son to stay in a marriage where I don't trust his father to go to work or walk out the door. I don't want any resentment that our son would feel when he gets older. I can't believe he put our son in danger, even if he didn't care 1 ounce about me. Our son could have been harmed by his actions. My husband says that a broken home is not good for a child, but like I said before, not being able to trust the person I'm with would be even worse. And I feel like I would be teaching my son to just grit his teeth and go forward with things that make him uncomfortable. So we will be co parenting. I have gotten tested and I don't have anything, thankfully, and our son is happy and healthy. I will be getting tested in 3 months and then again in 6 months just to be safe. I just wanted to come here and vent because my parents are very supportive, but it's very hard. It's a very hard thing to talk about now, and talking to strangers is better, I guess. I don't want to feel like I failed at something. I don't know if that makes any sense. Just talking really. I'm really heartbroken over this and I just need to talk about my feelings. My first therapy session is tomorrow. I have seen my soon to be ex husband's post. It is nothing he can say or do to get me back to blame me because I was bedridden. I have been reading the comments and they have made me feel better and giggle. I'm surprised that I can laugh in this time that I'm hurt. My favorite was, I have the world's smallest violin and it won't even play a tune. And that's how sad this is. It went something like that. And my mom said, whatever made me laugh, to thank them. So thank you from me and my mom and my son. When I started laughing, he smiled and tried to mock me. As much as I've tried to shield him from my pain, I know that he's probably felt some of it. So thank you for that to that person. So this is where she's talking to Matthew. She says, if this is you, Matthew, how dare you come on here to say you'll do whatever to get me back? Why didn't you just stay home with me when I was throwing up almost daily, being out cheating on me? You were also almost 30 minutes late to see the birth of our son. Were you also cheating then? I will never forgive you, so leave me alone. I will be screenshotting this and showing this to the lawyer. This is stalking and harassment. Leave me alone. You made your bed. Now lay in it. What more do you want from me? You have broken me and you come here to blame me because I wasn't acting like a wife. I was growing our son and could barely get out of bed. Sorry, I stopped making you waffles in the morning. This is only further proof that I made the correct decision. You not only cheated on me while I was pregnant, but you were coming home being intimate with me. You could have harmed our son. You also cheated after the birth of our son. Instead of being there with our son, you were out ruining our marriage. Now, Matthew, now go lay in that bed that you made. So, like I said, this one required a little coffee. It requires a snack. Y'all jump in the comments and let me know what you think about this one. Don't forget to like, comment, share. We need to have this conversation. I need women to put our safety and survival ahead of dating, period. Let's look at this Reddit. She says, do I give a second date to a man who gripped and squeezed my neck during the first kiss? The answer is absolutely not, but let's look at the post. She says, had a first date with the guy last night. He actually had to come help tow my car out right before dinner because I was stuck in the snow in my driveway. LOL. First date I, 30-year-old woman, really enjoyed in a long time. I was giddy and excited to see him, man 28, again. He was sweet and easy to talk to. He drove me home and we kissed in his truck. It was all great until he gripped his left hand around my neck and gently but firmly squeezed. It wasn't a sensual caressing touch like along the back of the neck, and it did make me nervous. My airway wasn't cut off, and I didn't say or do anything in the moment. I suppose I just out of shock. She says, I really enjoyed the night overall, but the more I think of it today, the last part really threw me off. Should I give him a second date and just state my displeasure with what happened? Or is this the type of man to just stay away from? Edit. Thanks, ladies. You're right. I'm currently in therapy trying to learn to set boundaries and stand up for myself. I appreciate the reminder from you all that this is completely unacceptable behavior. Edit 2. I'm embarrassed to admit that this isn't the first man to do this to me. I was just shocked he did it on the first date. I had normalized this behavior from men, but I'm understanding now how reckless and dangerous it is. I feel silly for having asked, but I really appreciate everyone knocking some sense into me. Okay, the reason why I want to talk about this is because she asked the question and it opened it up for us to have this discussion. She admits that she was feeling shocked. She was frozen in place. She didn't get pleasure from this. This was the first date and the first kiss, and this is how he's making her feel. He is starting to push boundaries already, and she's actually thinking about giving into it. So I want us to, as women that are watching this, that might have daughters, sisters, cousins, a barista up the street, talk to them about this stuff. If these people are making you feel uneasy, do not ignore that. That is a red flag. Stop putting your own survival and safety on the background for them. It is not worth it. Being single is much better because this is not safe. Some of the comments, I'd say it's probably better to stay away from a guy who non-consensually squeezes your neck in a non-sensual way on the first date while you're isolated with him in a truck. This person's like, what? You don't ask him if he has shovels in the back of the truck, for the snow. This person says, tools. I have to have my tools. Okay. I'm only using this because, yes, it's being ridiculous, but it just goes to show that we have got to sometimes sprinkle in some of these things because this was clearly an unsafe man. This person says, I had a guy who did it to me during a date. He definitely has the DV tendency. I left safely, but OP should really avoid him at all costs. I don't know why this person underneath says LOL, because why is that funny? This person says, to be honest, I'm not really sure why so many people in this sub seem to even consider giving such people a second date. What is there to weigh up? The person at the bottom says, always trust your gut. If something felt off, then you're probably right. This person says, don't. Anything to do with your neck and pressure always needs consent first. It's too easily deadly. This person says, no way. Showing aggression without permission is a serious warning sign. The worst possible first date behavior is being abrasive. This person says, I wouldn't go for a second date, even if he was just doing it because prior partners asked for or enjoyed it. It's still a cue that he both enjoys this kind of male-dominated dynamic and that he isn't experienced with consent. The sheer idea of having to teach basics to someone or to wait for them to learn is tiresome. Okay, towards the bottom. A man who strangles you or even just non-consensually grabs your neck like what you described is 750% more likely to effing unalive you. So yeah, dump this guy. And this person says, This sounds like a made-up stat, but it's true. According to the Training Institute on Strangulation Prevention, a woman who has suffered a non-fatal strangulation incident with her intimate partner is 750% more likely to be unalived by the same perpetrator than by a pew-pew. You guys can look that up for yourself, but regardless, just have a sense of safety for yourself, a sense of survival. Please don't put that aside. Don't put that nagging feeling aside. Everybody doesn't deserve a second date. And if they behave badly on the first date, they should totally, I don't care if it was something even simpler than this. If they behaved badly on the first date, they should not get a second. Y'all jump in and let me know what you think about this one. This is another Reddit post that is for educational purposes. We need to keep having these conversations with our girls. Okay, so this woman updated a couple of times, but I'm just going to read the title and then I'm going to do the original post. She says, boyfriend makes me feel guilty for wanting a long distance relationship while I'm doing clinicals in graduate school. Original story. How should I tell my boyfriend I need to move out and start a long distance relationship because of my clinicals? Should I move out? My boyfriend, who's 29, and I, a woman who's 24, have been together for 4 years. One year ago, he received a job opportunity from a family member, so he moved back to his hometown, and I moved in with him. My only family and friends are roughly 2 hours away. I'm currently in an online program, an online graduate program, and in-person clinicals will start soon. They'll go for 2 years, 3 to 5 days a week, along with me taking 3 online classes every semester. I'm really struggling to decide where I want to do clinicals. I have the option of doing them from where my mom lives, where I could live with her for free, which would relieve a lot of stress for me and provide stability. I could also do clinicals where me and my boyfriend live. However, I'd have to work every weekend and some weeknights just to make rent. I brought it up to him, and my boyfriend expressed strong feelings against me moving in with my mom. He said he'd really like me to stay and that the easiest option isn't always the best. I expressed if we lived together, every weekend and half of the weeknights would be spent apart with me working to make rent. But if I lived with my mom, I could drive to see him every weekend and we could actually spend time together. He said if I leave, he'd have to move back in with his parents, which would be bad for his mental health. I asked how that was possible with one bedroom rent here averaging $1,200, and he makes $65,000 a year. He got upset and I apologized. I ended up agreeing in the moment to try to do clinicals here because I felt pressured to. What's the smartest decision here? I really wished he'd be more open to a long distance relationship, but I respect his opinions. I know I would miss him every day, but I can't imagine choosing a harder path and not even getting time with him, growing resentful of what I've sacrificed and compromised. I'm also feeling very guilty about his reasoning. I feel like I can't move in with my mom, feeling very sad and confused when I just want to be happy and actually look forward to my clinicals and education. When should I tell him I'm moving in with my mom? Our lease ends in May. I have no idea how he would react. Is this even something that I should do? Now to the edit. She says, thank you all for your nice and insightful responses. I'm with my mom right now, and she is going to help me move in the next few days, so I won't be alone with him. Thank you all for helping me feel more confident in my decision. I never want to hurt other people, and I'm glad I have enough intuition to know what's right and wrong, and that he is treating me wrong. Your responses help me solidify my beliefs, feel better, and ungaslight myself. I'm choosing me. I feel like a terrible girlfriend for putting my education and financial stability first. I posted the story here a few days ago. I got so much affirmation and positive responses. Thank you all so much. I deleted the post because it was getting popular and I was scared of him seeing it. I'll put the original story down below. She says, update. I brought up the topic to my boyfriend again the other night. He said, I was only thinking about myself. I was crying throughout the convo and he told me to calm down. I'm not thinking my decision through. I wasn't thinking about the health of my car for a long distance relationship. When I say his words hurt me, he says I should have brought this up earlier, and my inability to communicate about things hurt him. I don't like bringing things up for this very reason. His defensiveness and gaslighting. No, I'm sorry I hurt you. Just deflecting blame onto me and changing the subject. In the middle of when I was talking, he calculated how much my rent would be and said it was unreasonable for me to not be able to afford it. We both went to sleep, and the next morning he didn't go to work. He came into the living room and said, "We need to talk about last night." I said, "I really don't feel like it at the moment." I said, She says, "I really don't feel like it at the moment. I need some time to process everything that was said." To which he says, "Having conversations late at night just isn't good. I got no sleep last night." I went to the bathroom. He followed me and said, "Listen, I know you don't want to talk about our argument, but we need to. We need to be adults about this situation. This isn't okay." The patronizing tone bothers me so much. It is so common with him, like he views me as less and my needs aren't as important. At the same time, his guilt tripping is working. I feel like a horrible girlfriend who doesn't value her relationship for wanting to live with my mom during clinicals and graduate school to save money on rent. I feel awful and guilty for wanting to do a long distance relationship, even though his responses aren't healthy. I'm visiting my mom for a little while. He texted me to apologize for trying to talk when I didn't want to. I appreciate this, but I know it'll happen again. I'm thinking about the good times we've had together and our jokes, the comfort of a long term relationship, and the fear of never meeting someone else, and I feel horrible. This is my first relationship, and I really need some support for my choices and advice moving forward. I'm nervous to go back home to him. He's going to be super He's going to be super nice to me, and it'll be so hard to pack up and move. So I'm glad that she listened to many of the comments, and I'm not going to go through the comments because obviously if she's changed her mind to this, she sees where he is trying to push her where she doesn't want to be pushed, and how she knows in her brain what the best decisions are for her and her future and her education. But she needed this community, this girl chat that Reddit is becoming in order to solidify the decisions that she had already kind of come to for herself. So let's keep having these discussions. Let's keep bringing our questions to the forefront. And ladies, let's keep supporting other women and young ladies and girls without making them feel bad about second guessing ourselves, because sometimes we just need this girl chat. Jump in the comments. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.